Aloha, everyone. Happy Aloha Friday, and welcome back. Let me just fix my camera there. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Manoa Valley Theater Live. This is our 9th episode. And as always, I'm your host, Dylan Chase Lee. And let's bring in our Executive Director at Manoa Valley Theater, Kip Wilborn. Kip, how are you doing today?
How you doing?
I'm doing great, I am rocking a Superior football team jersey today.
Wow, that's just not a pretty sight. No, just not at all. That's all I can say. So anybody can forget. Don't forget that.
Is that a logo or is that a rating?
Oh, you know what? If you're going to steal material, you've got to at least steal it from not when we're having a meeting. You stole that. So, all right. Anyway, enough of that. Welcome everybody to the show this week. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe and sound and not social distancing. We still got to keep doing that so that we can keep everybody safe. And thank you so much for what you've done so far. Once again, I'll mention to you that during this time, Manoa Valley Theater doesn't have an income stream. So please support us. Support the arts, not just us. Support all the other theaters and organizations in town because the arts are so important, and it feels a little bit like somebody just turned the lights off. Somebody was saying that the other day about like live music and live theater. So you've got to support us through this so that on the other side, we'll have that and we'll be able to flourish again. So, but thank you so much for what you've done so far. And what's going on at the theater? Let's see. Oh, currently we have streaming. Money talks, but what the hell is it saying? And I encourage you to come to our website. There's a $10 donation we ask you to make, and then you get a link for the show. It's going to run for another couple of weeks. In fact, I think we're planning to have the playwrights on the show next week, and they'll talk a little bit about it, and you'll get another week to watch it. And then they're going to have a webinar or kind of a talkback session on June 6th at 2 o'clock. And you'll be able to do that and be able to live ask questions with the playwrights, and looking forward to that. And just after that, I want to add, having trouble talking today. I want to add that we'll be starting the streaming of a play that was a fantastic play, Hawaii premiere, and the playwright directed it here, and it was called Shipment Day, and it's about the exile of the Hansen disease victims to Kalapapa. This was written by one of the residents there at Kalapapa, and she really talks about how when she was first diagnosed and then how she was treated and how the justice system made it a crime so that they could put these people onto the, in Kalapapa, into the center there. So look forward to that. Keep an eye on your email. We'll give you more details. And if you enjoy the online content, support us, because that's the way it happens. All right. Nothing else is going on, I don't think.
All right.
Dylan, anything?
Thankfully, thank you to everyone who reached out from last week and got some costumes. From me, my house is very, the costumes situation has died down quite a bit. One of our guests that we have on the show today actually came and grabbed some costumes from me. So thank you to that person who you will meet shortly. But yeah.
So I guess you couldn't give away that shirt, huh? Nobody would take it.
No, they're going to bury me in this shirt. Yeah.
It could be arranged. Just saying. Right. Hey, listen, we got two great guests today. Both of them are good friends for a long time, and also worked with me on Allegiance, and they were just fantastic in that. And it's a real nice time to have both of them here. And I will throw it to Dylan now.
All right. All right. So you heard Kip. These our next guest, our first guest, I should say, has been in the Hawaii theater scene for quite a while. He directed Allegiance, that was produced at Manoa Valley Theater and put on at the Hawaii Theater. He is a University of Hawaii professor, the head of the acting department, and he is also a Patriots fan, unfortunately to say. Please help me welcome to the StreamYard stream, Paul Mitri. Paul. Oof.
There you go. There it is.
I think that jersey, not jersey, but that shirt has to go.
I think Kip got it right when he said you couldn't even give your shirt away, probably. So.
Oh, I mean, I could easily give this shirt away. It's a nice Juju Smith-Schuster shirt.
Oh, nice, yeah. Nice. Hey, you may not have known this, but actually, long ago, way before you were born, when the Buccaneers were the expansion team, I actually was a Buccaneer fan as well. So I'm pretty set for this year, actually.
Yeah, how fitting that Tom Brady went to the Bucs.
Exactly. So this is going to be a fun year if they ever get a play.
Yeah. Well, this isn't ESPN. This is Manoa Valley Theater Live. So as much as I would love to talk football with you, haven't done it in a while. Let's talk some theater stuff, shall we?
All right. You're on.
All right. So you've been working at the University of Hawaii for about how long, Paul?
14 years, I think.
14 years. Okay, so
14.
Since 2006 or so?
Yep. Got here in 2006.
Nice, nice. And at the University of Hawaii, you taught a plethora of classes, classes that I've taken as well, like stage combat, Shakespeare, auditioning for TV and film. Just kind of go over your skill set of what you've learned.
Luckily I had a very eclectic background. So at all of the schools that I've taught at, I've been able to kind of use that. So a lot of voice, a lot of movement, a lot of acting, a lot of Shakespeare, period styles, and combat. So luckily here, I was able to kind of slot on in. When I first got here, Glenn Cannon was the other acting teacher.
Ooh, nice.
And he kind of took over. He had the kind of the method acting stuff and the film and TV class. And pretty much everything else fell to me. So I think out of 15 Western acting classes on the books, I taught 11 or 12 of them.
Nice.
And then stepped in for Glenn on one occasion for a couple others. So yeah, I've been lucky. But I think you've taken them all too, Dylan.
I don't think I've taken. Have I? No, because I've taken the graduate level classes. Except for
you took great roles. The only one you didn't do was the dialect class, I think.
No, I took the beginning dialect class. Yeah.
Yeah. Intermediate voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you probably took about eight classes with me.
Well, that's good because you were my mentor, Paul.
Well, there you go.
And so, Paul, through stories I've heard from you, teaching at UH, you've also taught abroad. So before Hawaii, you're teaching at other places like Egypt, for example. Could you hear a little bit about your experience in Egypt teaching?
It was great, and we could have easily stayed there, but we were there during 9/11, and then things really kind of changed. But the students were fantastic. They were, in many ways, they were like just kind of a blank slate. They didn't have like a lot of the bad habits that some actors can get if all they do is like copy other people. So they were just willing and able to do anything. And really, we had just some people that, spoke 3, 4, 5 languages.
Wow.
They were fantastic. And we were there, and then things after 9/11 started to get a little bit weird, and we just kind of felt like maybe it wasn't as safe. And so we got out a few years after that. So I was there for 4 years altogether. Yeah. And it was really great. We got a brand new building, brand new theater at the time. And, I think for any university, getting that morale boost when you can get a new building, wonderful, really great. I had a view of the Citadel from my office. It was great.
Oh, nice. I can only imagine that's a very nice view.
It was cool.
So, Paul, you mentioned languages, and you also mentioned dialects a little bit back. And the one thing that comes to mind when I think about dialects with you is when I did my first show with you, The Elephant Man at Manoa Valley Theater, and you played Joseph Merrick. Could you just kind of go into detail about the process of becoming the Elephant Man?
It was that was a lot of fun, and Alex Monroe is my co-director. So it was we really actually, when Dwight approached me about it, I said, hey, I'd love to do both, but it'd be great to have a co-director so I can get good feedback. And Alex was really, really wonderful in giving that. But all of them, I mean, the way that I think that we work best is when we're totally collaborative. So it wasn't just asking Alex, but we would ask, Michelle Joanne was the assistant director too.
Yeah.
She would give us a lot of feedback. Tracy, Rob, all of you guys in the cast. It was just, that's when theater is best, is when it's about the teamwork and not about working in silos.
Mm-hmm.
And I like taking on roles like that because it gives you the chance that you have to practice what you preach. So if I'm teaching dialect, then I should be able to do it on stage too. And the same with character work, because I really love mask work, and that's totally what Merrick was, is try to find the face, try to find the body, allow the voice to come out of that. So, I think, and that's what I liked about having students in the show too, is hopefully you could see some of that process, and that would just reinforce whatever I'm saying in class.
Mm-hmm. So that's something that I've noticed as well. A lot of students from the University of Hawaii, specifically in the theater department, often come over to Manoa Valley Theater and kind of help out behind the scenes. And one thing that you've always said in your classes was to, keep adding to the actor's toolbox. I'm blanking now. Keep working at your craft, essentially. And is that sort of the same advice you would give to anyone who has aspiring dreams to, keep doing theater within their life?
Absolutely. But the number one thing I would say is keep studying, go to class. Don't just assume that doing shows is going to teach you stuff. Some of the best work I've ever seen has been in the class situation, because, you've heard me, I say it all the time, is dare to fail gloriously. And that's when we really get the best stuff that's happening. And that you can't always do that in a show. But one of the things that MVT has been so wonderful about is, and it's what I tried to use All the World's a Stage also, to kind of be that extension of the training at UH, to give students like you the opportunity to step into something that's not on campus, and to see how professionals work as well. So hopefully you can see that you don't always get 6 weeks and you get a lot of time. Sometimes you got 2.5 weeks and you just got to throw it together and do excellent work anyway, in spite of the circumstances. So MVT has been great with that, because all the way from Duck Hunter Shoots Angel, even from there, I was able to have students in the shows, definitely in Rent and Spring Awakening and Full Monty and Elephant Man and into Allegiance. It's kind of been that professional theater that can pair with the training that I've been trying to give too. So I really appreciate that opportunity, and I hope as a student that that is paid off too.
Yes, and I appreciate everything that you've done for your students tremendously. And I don't want to say sadly, but we have news that you will be leaving the university at the end of this coming fall semester, and you'll be taking on a new chapter in your life, teaching at Utah. So could you kind of go into a little bit of detail of how your Utah experience, what's going to be like?
Sure. I'm kind of surprised we stayed this long, because as you said, we've been teaching all over the place. We had we were in Seattle, then we ended up kind of teaching in Japan for 3 years off and on. Then we were in Egypt for 4. We were in Salem, Massachusetts for 3. And then we came here, and suddenly, 10 years goes by and you're like, hey, wait a minute, what happened? So, sometimes it is just time to pick up and do something new. What I really like about the Utah program, and I'll be head of the department and also artistic producer of the Lyric Rep, which is a professional theater affiliated with the department. So that's one of the things that I just think is really important, is to have a training program that can filter into that professional experience. And so I'm really looking forward to getting there, working with that. The program is a BFA program in acting, design, stage management, I think. So we're going to have it's a real pre-professional type of training. And I love mountains, and I tried to learn to snowboard, and I'm really horrible at it. So I'm looking forward to falling down the mountains as much as I can.
I'm sure you'll get it, Paul. But Paul, before you leave, Ethan Fong is in the chat, and he just wants to say hello to you.
Ethan, we love you, Ethan. We miss you. Come back or come to Utah.
Yep. For those of you who missed it, Ethan Fong was in one of our previous Manoa Valley Theater Live episodes with Kathleen Stewart, and he played the lead of Sammy Kimura, who was under the direction of this man right here, Paul Mitri.
There was no directing. He had it. He knew what he was doing. He was awesome. He was so awesome.
All right. Well, thank you again, Paul, for being on the show. If I don't see you by the end of the fall, I'm going to miss you. You're truly a wonderful teacher and a wonderful mentor and a good friend as well.
Well, thanks. And, maybe eventually you'll come around and start rooting for the Patriots. I can never wait.
Not likely. All right. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Dylan. And make sure you donate, everybody. Donate down there.
Donate.
Hit that donate button.
All right. See ya.
Later.
All right. So our next guest onto the stream is a person that I actually met while I was in high school. He helped out with our high school's performance of In the Heights. He was our musical director. He has such wonderful patience because I could never hit any of the really high notes. And he is also working at Farrington High School, where they recently did their production of In the Heights. He is not affiliated with football, so he is a very neutral state. Please help me welcome to the stream, Miguel Cadoy. Miguel.
Hi, everyone.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Dylan?
Doing good. So
yeah, unfortunately, no football paraphernalia. So,
but that's okay because you're a volleyball guy, right?
I am a volleyball guy and a Lakers fan. So, that's
nice,
it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So Miguel, like Kip was saying in the intro, you are also part of Allegiance.
Yep.
You played the role of Frankie. Tell us a little bit about your experience playing that role with Frankie, as well as your experience working on Allegiance in general.
Allegiance was a great production. I wish I was in the audience watching, but just that whole process, being able to learn from Paul, like what Paul was saying, learning. That whole process for me was about learning, and Frankie Suzuki was a tough role for me. I've never played a character like that. I'm usually like this big, boisterous character.
Yeah.
Like Sebastian or Hula Hoop in Honu by the Sea. So Frankie was a tough acting character for me. But I learned a lot through that process. I learned a lot from Paul, from Ethan, from Christian, from everyone in that cast. And I'm really grateful for that experience that we had doing Allegiance. Yeah.
So you mentioned Honu by the Sea, and Honu by the Sea is a touring show. You've traveled to many different places with this cast and company. Could you go into your experience with Honu by the Sea as well?
Sure. So Honu by the Sea is a local written children's musical, so to say. And we started back in 2012, and we did 3 summers at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel.
Nice.
But from there, we kind of branched off into doing like these mini tour shows at the Waikiki Aquarium. And NOAA, the Oceanography Association, picked us up to do tours like at Seattle Aquarium. We've been all over the place, St. Petersburg, Florida, Monaco, Sydney, Australia. And then the past two years, we've been going to Japan, Tokyo. Unfortunately, our tour got got canceled for this year due to what's happening in Japan. So, yeah, I would have never thought that this little show that I auditioned for in Waikiki would have taken me places such as those. So it's a really humbling and grateful experience. Yeah,
that's good. Out of all the places that you folks have visited, which place would you say impacted you the most, or was just your overall favorite?
It's hard to choose. Seattle's a place where we go every year. We go for their Hawaiian weekend at the aquarium. And
Nice.
I've always loved Seattle. Japan is also on my top list. Yeah, I love Japanese food and going around, and the Japanese culture. So good.
So Miguel,
Japanese too, so it's really neat that we can connect with the Japanese people there.
I'm sorry, I cut you off on that one. Could you repeat that again?
No, we also we translate the show in Japanese.
Oh,
So we sing and we act in Japanese as well.
wait. So wow, I didn't. Yeah. So you folks are. I'm speechless. That is amazing.
Yeah. So we translate all the songs into Japanese and then dub all the script. And it's a really neat show that we do up in Japan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said in the intro for you, you were involved in the Heights, and you are also involved with my school's In the Heights production. How many In the Heights productions have you been a part of in this state?
I think I've been involved with everyone except one. Some sort of fashion, whether it's helping out with vocals or being in it. I was in Chaminad's one. I think if I counted correct, I think 6 productions.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say you have a very strong connection with this show, and if you don't,
one of my favorites. Yeah.
So just go into a little detail of what In the Heights means to you.
I said this to my students at Farrington. There's a lot of the characters and story that we can relate to. In the Heights. It was my first gig as a music director, or first big gig as a music director. I did it at St. Louis first. In 2013. But yeah, it's just a story of hope and dreams. My mom's an immigrant from the Philippines, and it shares that story of the immigrants coming to America and making a life here in America and wanting to dream. And yeah, it just resonates so much heart in the story, and I'm really grateful for that piece. I wouldn't have done it 6 or 7 times.
So speaking of music and musicals, I understand that you have a song for us today, and I was wondering if you wouldn't mind sharing with us today.
Sure. Yeah, I have a song. It's from my first show that I ever did at Manoa back in 2013. We did a production of Godspell.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right. I'll leave it to you, Miguel. Nice. And you definitely hit the higher notes better than I ever could.
We got you there, Dylan. We got you there with patience.
With paciencia y fe, see? All right. So, Miguel, how do you feel about me bringing back Kip and Paul in order to close down this show?
I'd love for them to come back on. Yeah.
All right. Please help me welcome back Kip and Paul Mitri.
And now Paul Mitri will do that same song, but a step higher.
I already did. I was singing along. You didn't put me on, Dylan?
No, I didn't put you on.
No.
Thank you, guys. Oh my gosh, just a fantastic show. Miguel, my gosh, you sound so great. It's so great to hear you again. I miss hearing you.
Thank
I
you.
really do. And Paul, we will certainly miss you. And by the way, I just want to take a moment to say an aloha to someone else. We lost a giant in our community this week. Somebody who was very dear to me and just a consummate entertainer and artist, and someone that all of us always said, oh my gosh, I wish I could be like that. But more than that, the thing that was so important to me is that he was always so kind. He always made me feel completely welcome when we were on a gig together. And that was Willie K. And I want to extend our sympathy from MVT to Willie K's family. And Rada Willie, or Uncle Willie, as so many say, aloha, my friend. So just want to take that moment. Okay. All right, Dylan.
What's up?
Wrap us up.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining in on Manoa Valley Theater's 9th episode of MVT Live. We hope you folks will join us again next week, Friday, same time, same place, different people.
I'll be here.
Yeah, well, Kip and I will be here. The guests will be different.
All right,
See
everybody.
you, Paul.
Yeah.
Hey, Miguel. Great job, man.
Bye.
Bye.